Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome back to some more EVE Online. And for today we are going to do some risky business. Although risky, well, this is basically to show you guys how we transport stuff out of Solitude back into one of the trade hubs. As I've said many times before, we do this with a highsec to highsec wormhole, and I found one 2 jumps away from Nibale, and I've been doing really decently well in highsec exploration in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to grab, and that's the downtime in 1 hour. So I'm going to grab a lot of my faction stuff that I have with me, and I put all of this in my Ishtar, and we're going to try and get all of this to Dodixie. So I am trying to move 1.5 billion ISK in loot in one go. Obviously I would not want to take something like that through low sec. The only real risk at this point is if I end up in Dodixie and someone scans my ships and decide it's actually worth trying to gank it. I mean, they'll have a hard time because I am in the Ishtar here. But yeah, it might just be worth it to someone, and then they'll probably give it a go. So that's really the only risk with this method. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, traveling around with 1.5 billion in the cargo doesn't make me feel all that comfortable, so I have to be a little bit careful. But this is basically how we do it. So here we go, approaching the Urs gate, and of course on all of these gates as well, you know, if there happens to be a suicide ganker around here, we gotta be careful, gotta keep moving, and definitely have to pay attention to everything. You don't want to autopilot any of this stuff. So let's warp to the wormhole here, which had not had its stability disrupted too much yet, so it should be okay to do this trip, and we end up somewhere, I think it's 8 jumps from Dodixie or something like that, so I should definitely be able to still manage that before downtime. And that's, of course, this is something you have to do once in a while if you're far away from any of the big trade hubs. From time to time you'll want to get your loot out there so you can actually sell it, get some ISK, and then maybe import some other stuff. I definitely want to get Tech 2 salvager here and maybe some other high-end minerals, because I have a lot of BPCs that I want to produce. But yeah, then you come across this wormhole, you check it out, and immediately I think you can recognize just from the graphics you get at the other side that this is Galente space. So here we go, and now we are in Teruese, which is, I have assets in Dodixie, which is closest by, just 8 jumps, so that's really awesome. And I've also bookmarked the wormhole itself, so that's really awesome. You know, I gain a lot of time with this, although you have to of course scan them down. But yeah, you just go through the wormhole, and there you are from Solitude right into Galente territory, and just 8 more jumps to Dodixie. Put everything there. If I manage that safely, then I'll be good. Then I'll bring in a Tech 2 salvager and some of the high-end minerals. So here we go. Let's just take that trip, but take that trip out to Dodixie, and that'll be it for the video, I think. Just to make sure, you know, if I get suicide ganked, then I'll have recorded that, and that'll would be funny enough in and of itself. Of course, I hope that won't happen, and it's decently unlikely, you know, in the Ishtar. Maybe another advantage: Ishtar 460 cubic meters in cargo space. That's actually more than the battle cruiser I have. So, you know, if I want to be a bit more safe in hit points wise, I would have taken the battle cruiser. But that only has 400 cubic meters, so it's really a pretty big cargo hold for a Tech 2 cruiser. So it gets decent tank, it's fast enough, and you can actually store a decent amount of stuff in there. I also have a lot of these incognito stuff from the data sites here, some Tech 2 salvage as well, and then a whole lot of faction hardeners, repairers, micro warp drive, stuff like that. So this is pretty much 3 plex that I'm actually carrying at the moment, so I do hope that we'll get there without any trouble. In Jita you're even less safe, you know. Dodixie not the biggest of trade hubs, but there's probably suicide gangers there as well. So let's just finish this this route. 6 more jumps, all looking okay. And here we go. But that's really how we do it, how we transport our loot and our valuables from the Solitude back into any of the trade hubs really. If I would have something that's close to Amar, then I would go there. Close to Jita, then I would go there. Just sell it off locally then, and make sure that yeah, it just, that's the way you monetize all of this stuff, you know, because you have a good Serpentisfy outpost and 100 million ISK in loot. That doesn't really mean you have 100 million ISK just available just like that. You need to have a way to make that liquid. And obviously the best place for that is actually the big market hubs. So when you have a chance like this one, a pretty close wormhole that pops up, you have to take it. I think move as much as you can, or as you feel safe moving. And I think 1.5 billion in an Ishtar, well, you know, I could have a painful loss, but it would still be okay, I think. If they decide to gang me, and they would need to put a lot of effort behind that, you know. You'll need several tornadoes ready just to get through my Ishtar tank here in one volley or in a couple of volleys. So yeah, this is just some maintenance, some logistical stuff that you have to do from time to time when you're mostly living very far away. And here we go to Osmomon. Only a Galente shuttle, so no risk there. And now the closer we get to the Dixie, the busier the systems will get, although it's close to downtime, so we might just be okay. Shuttle is following me, only 5 in local. So let's keep going. Maybe I'll quickly have the scanner open. Oh, a couple signatures here, that's a bit surprising. All of the easy stuff does get done here by the locals, you know. A lot of newer players in Solitude. This green stuff, the cosmic anomalies, completely full. You easily get 10 of those in any systems, and here in major highsec a lot less. But yeah, just keep an eye out for anything special, but just burn as quickly as possible. That's basically how I do it. And next one, just 3 more jumps. Go, go, go. It's all looking all right. And then maybe if I can successfully sell all of this, I could come close to 10 billion in my balance again, which is something that I do like to be at. I don't know, that's just psychological, you know, you like big round numbers. Anything above 10 billion is definitely spendable. You know, I could just buy whatever I feel like it, but having 10 billion in the wallet, I like the feeling of it. And here we go, Botan Gate. Here the riskier business starts to happen, and you could already see, I think, a revelation or something, an Amar transport ship that was also doing the run. 50 minutes to go before we have downtime, so that's no problem at all. I'd say maybe, yeah, 10 minutes, something like that, to bring 1.5 billion from Solitude to the Dixie. That's about as good a deal as you can get, and that is why we constantly keep an eye out for highsec wormholes. Any wormhole we find, Drake, that won't do anything. Any wormhole we find, we do check them out just in case it's one of these. And go. Now here 18 in local, so well, I think there's not really any risks here just yet. Then we'll get to the Dixie, but it's all looking quite alright. Not enough people online really, I think, to have any fully organized suicide gangs in the trade hubs. although in Jita they're always around. I think in Dodixie will be quite safe. So there we go, gate coming into approach. Let's see if this gate is busier. Final approach through the planet. And yeah, but Obelisk and Orca, so that's good. Probably they'll scan those down first before they scan down an Ishtar, I think. And here we go, made it into Dodixie, nothing to report on the gate. You can always also go here if you want, so dock up where I get most of my stuff. Put my destination back to the wormhole. That will bring me back to Solitude. Iteron Mark V here, so yeah, it's all looking pretty safe. Let me quickly dock up, put everything aside so that I know it's secured. And then it's ready to sell, buy some stuff and go back. But yeah, this is just a quick video here. You know, nothing really special, but if you're wondering how we move stuff out of a place like Solitude, we would probably do the same from a wormhole, you know, just wait for a correct out wormhole, or maybe even from low sec if you're really far away. What's that here? Megatron, if issue you want. None of this seems to be anything that'll try suicide gank on me. So here we go, docked up, and take all of this stuff and put it right there in the item hanger. And that's secured, bringing my assets in Dodixie at 6 billion. Yeah, you know, as you can see, this is pretty fast, pretty efficient, and this is how we move our stuff out after a few weeks of successful exploration. That means I could bring in 1.5 billion ISK in one go. Very good news. I'm going to look for some stuff to import, and I'll see you all next time.